How important is to be resilient as a leader? You will know everything in the next interview. Dr. Hughes, very welcome with us. We talked a lot about resilience. What is exactly the definition for you?
Resilience, in my experience, is the ability to bounce back, roll with the punches, being able to work through quite challenging, difficult times and still stay intact as an individual. And today, more so than ever, we need more resilience in our communities because we're being challenged at every level. We're being challenged by our climate, economically, we're being challenged by our politics, we're being challenged by multiple choices, by our work environment, by technology. And if you don't have that ability to keep believing in yourself, to be positive, to have that deep kind of intactness as an individual, you can get surrounded by doubt and fear, anxiety, and that then leads to a dissolvement of your being, and you can become quite sick. So we need resilience, and we need it in individuals, we need it in communities as part of facing what's happening around us.
What is exactly, how can you learn to be a leader? Is this something that you can be taught or something natural?
I think it is natural, but at times you can create an environment where leaders come out, and you can be taught the characteristics of it, so to identify it. But I firmly believe that you have to have strong innate characteristics. And then at times when you give people an environment, they flourish. They come out at times of emergencies. They come out in times when you need them. But you can also mentor and coach people who have the characteristics to be able to develop their leadership.
What is the difference between a manager and a leader? But we have some confusion.
It's an academic debate all the time, and you can have a manager who's also a good leader. You can have a good leader who's a bad manager, and you can have a manager who's not a leader and a leader who's not a manager. Managers are people who concentrate on operational systems and resources, and they provide and build those systems and work through people to get the resources they need. Leaders are different. They are usually, I believe, more strategic. They also often provide inspiration to others. They also shine and come out in times of adversity. And they have significant followers. Managers may not have followers. Managers often have to make hard decisions, which they may have good workers around them, but they are different.
We hear a lot of sort of complaints on the market about managers or lack of leadership, of bad management. How can you give us some tips about how can we improve this?
I think you must support individuals in a career if they're going to go into management. You just can't take someone like a clinician, like myself, and if I'm working directly with clients and patients and put them into an environment and say you've got to manage. That's not okay. We wouldn't do that in other areas. Management is a profession, it is a discipline. You do need to learn it, you do need to be educated in it, and you do need to have experience and supervision and mentoring in it. So you need professional development opportunities. And yes, you can go and do an MBA or an academic, but you need to be able to have a structure, a career pathway, which is defined by your organisation. It's too costly not to do that. It's too costly to the individuals who get thrown into management, or it's too costly for businesses when the bad decisions are made. by managers making bad resource decisions, and it costs many organisations millions of dollars.
How can we teach, and that would be the last question, managers and leaders to become resilient? Is there a way of doing that?
Yeah, they have to get in touch with themselves. They have to be authentic. They have to understand their own coping mechanisms. They have to understand and have insight into what causes them stress and how to respond and deal with that, rather than get angry at their workers. Sit back, reflect, and they need to be able to build those skills up. And they need to have time to do that. They need personal time to do that. You can't work people 16 hours a day, because what happens is they get involved with long hours, they resort to coping mechanisms like drugs and alcohol, and they're unhealthy. So they need to get in touch with themselves and actually reflect on what it is that makes them real as a person.
Dr. Hughes, thanks very much for being with us.
It's been fine. Thank you very much.
This interview is in partnership with Reportage Suisse Romande. Thanks very much for being with us.